All right. Before we get started, I have a question for you. So who is your dream cast guest on the Breaking Eggs podcast?
Probably Flagler College admissions.
Well, that is good because we are here.
Yay! Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Callahan. I'm a junior here at Flagler College. I'm a marketing major with a minor in business administration and strategic communications. I am a Flagler College student ambassador, so I give tours to prospective students on campus. I am also a part of the Ambassador Leadership Council, and I serve as social media liaison. I'm here today with my bosses, Philadelphia Zimmerman and Ben Tron. Would you guys please tell me a little bit about yourselves as well as your role within admissions?
Okay, I'll go first. So, hi, I'm Philadelphia Zimmerman. I am the Associate Director of Admissions Visitor Services, and I oversee kind of all things visitor related. So, when students are looking at Flagler and like wanting to come and visit, whether it is actually coming to campus or doing something virtually, myself and my team are really kind of the ones that are putting all of those things on.
And my name is Ben. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions Visitor Services. So I really do the daily visit stuff. I help check in guests and help coordinate different things like that you'll hear about later, but like faculty meetings, class observations, things of that nature.
Amazing. So, Ben, I wanted to congratulate you on your 1-year work anniversary with admissions. Congratulations.
Woo-hoo!
And you're also an alumni. You graduated in 2023. So can you share with us just what first drew you to work in admissions and what you enjoy most about helping students navigate the process?
Yeah, so I started off as a student ambassador when I was a student here, and I really just enjoyed seeing people grow as students. Like when you first come in as college, like everyone tells you like you're going to figure out your life and kind of understand that. And I think just seeing students actually like grow and like realize that is something that is pretty cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Philly, you've been involved in shaping the admissions process for a while now.
Yes.
So how have you seen it evolve over the years with Flagler?
Yes. So I'm actually an alum as well, and I graduated in 2012. So I have been here for a little bit, and I also was a student ambassador when I was here. But truly, one of the best things that I think has happened in admissions in a while is actually the creation of visitor services. So when I was a student, we obviously gave tours and we had, interviews and people came to the campus, but there wasn't one sole person in the department focused on the visitor experience. And really, since I came on with the admissions team and started this role and really have expanded the team to a team of 3 now, woo,
Okay.
We definitely have really, really understood what it takes for somebody when they're visiting and what the families are looking for and what their expectations are, and then how do we meet those on a grand scale.
Mm-hmm. And with that, what would you say would be one common misconception for students or families that they might have about the admissions process, and how do we help clear that up on our end?
Absolutely. So I think one of the kind of misconceptions is that the admissions counselors, the admissions team, that we're not accessible. We are these like intimidating figures that are deciding these big decisions like, are you being accepted or not? And while we do make those decisions, it's not so cut and dry. We do a very personalized admissions process at Flagler, and we really go into making sure that we know who we are communicating with. We know who we are reading applications for, and we really want people to know that they can reach out to us. The students can reach out to us on their behalf. Parents can reach out to us on the student's behalf. And really, like, there's no stupid question. I know people say that all the time, but there's really no stupid question. Like, if you are wondering it, that means we haven't done our job to communicate that to you already. So let's clear that up. Let's make this not a scary process.
And with that, for Ben, from your perspective, what is the most important first step for that prospective student to take when they are applying to Flagler?
Yeah, this might sound a little biased, but I would say visiting campus. It is like a really big part of it because you get to learn like the feel of the campus. You get to like see what it looks like and experience that. And if you can't make it to campus, there are other things you can do. Like we have a virtual tour. Staying connected on our social medias is a great way to kind of like see what we're doing on campus and kind of get an understanding of that as well. But you can really personalize your visit. We have, like I was talking about earlier, faculty meetings, class observations. So it's also very customizable.
Going off of what Ben said, with the personalized experience and how everything's customizable for each student individually, how do we at Flagler create a welcoming environment for those students as they go through the admissions process?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like we're saying it over and over again, but that's just really what it is. Like everything is very personalized. Our experience, starts when somebody might get a flyer from us their sophomore year of high school, and we're inviting them to come to campus that early and really get to know what Flagler is, who we are, how we're going to fit into their ultimate life goals. And ultimately, we want a student, if they start their journey with us their sophomore year, or even if they start their journey with us spring semester, senior year, to get that same experience. It might be a little condensed, but we're going to definitely work through, making sure you have all the tools you need and all the resources you need to make sure that Flagler is going to be the best fit for you.
Mm-hmm. And in your experience as an ambassador, but also just working in admissions now, what makes Flagler's approach to welcoming students so unique? Could you go into that a little bit more compared to other schools?
Yeah. I mean, again, we've talked about this, but like the accessibility to admissions counselors, like they're always there after your visit. You can go talk to them, and financial aid is also available for you as well. And then like as you're a student, they are able to be there for you, open door policy in both offices. But I think that like there's no cost to our tours. There's also free parking that we provide for you. And that's just a really great opportunity to do that. But then again, like the virtual tour, if you can't make it to campus, and even if you want to do a faculty meeting, I set one up for someone in the UK the other day. So like it doesn't matter where you are, we can get something for you.
Mm-hmm. And then even with all the cater experiences that we give here at Flagler, I know families can still be nervous about the different experiences that they can get, especially with just the college experience in general. So what advice would you give to families who are anxious about their child's college admissions journey?
As the parent in the room between the three of us, I think I can definitely answer that one maybe a little bit better. But there is definitely anxiety that comes with the admissions journey. Unfortunately, there just is in the way, schools, especially competitive admission schools, are reaching out to students. You're applying to multiple schools, and then also like trying to make sure like all your check boxes and checklists are completed for every school you're applying to. And I think one of the things that we as Flagler try to do is really work with the whole entity. So we're not just working with the student. We're not just trying to talk to the student, even though we want to talk to the students, and that's, who is ultimately going to make their decision on where they're going to college. Nowadays, it is really the family's decision. There's a lot of factors that may decide where you end up at college. And so, we're doing communication directly to parents as well. And so we are working with our marketing and communications office on a parent portal. So we have like a prospective parent portal that then goes into a current family portal so that you can stay kind of on track with your student during their whole journey at Flagler. We also have direct communication that goes out to the parents so that you'll know what your student is experiencing through the admissions process. You kind of get like a little copy of what they're getting, but then you also have your whole unique experience as well, because when you're coming to join the Flagler family, that's what we are. We're a family. It's not just your student coming to Flagler. It's the whole family coming to Flagler. So, we have a family leadership council through our institutional advancement office. So you can stay involved as a family member the entire time your student is a student here and beyond.
Yes. I think also going off of that, Flagler itself is its own family, so we kind of adopt your family into our family. I think here we have a great community full of just like faculty members as well as students, and you really gain a great experience while you're here, and you meet so many kind people, and there's so many people to just relate to, and you just feel very welcomed right when you get here, and that starts with the admissions process itself. I'd love to talk a little bit about just like daily visits from your perspective, as well as like campus visit day and admitted students day, and how we bring that experience to the students and how they can get a lot out of those days just while being on campus and what they learn.
Absolutely. You want to talk about daily visits?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's something that we do every day, but we don't realize how much like students actually really enjoy that. And like we've talked about, like it's a great way to learn what the campus is like. And I think that like it's just so easy to pop over and do the daily visit. And like even if you're coming all the way from Hawaii or somewhere crazy, like if you want to like make it more of a full day, like again, you can reach out to us and we'll make that customized visit for you with whatever you would like. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then to your point, Christina, with our large scale events, we do have Campus Visit Day, which is kind of like your broadest type of general visit that you can do. We hold them on Saturdays. Our audience for those are typically anybody in high school, anybody that might be currently at another institution looking to transfer. If you are anywhere in the admissions process, so if you've submitted your application, if you've already been accepted, you can all come to Campus Visit Day. Campus Visit Day's audiences is basically anyone and everyone that's interested in learning more. And so, we have that kind of an event that goes for about a half day. It's not a full day experience, but it's a very structured experience. Admitted Students Day, that audience is actually those that have already been accepted or committed to Flagler already, so those that have paid their deposit. We hold those in the spring every year, and those are just opportunities for you to spend more time on campus, so it's a full day experience, and you get to see a lot more of the campus, kind of every nook and cranny we have, and then that leads directly into our summer orientations that we that Flagler hosts through the Office of Student Leadership and Engagement. So we definitely have some intentionality with our events, so that every time you're coming to campus, you're learning more, you're having a opportunity to explore campus more and really get the best experience that you can have and learn everything.
Yes, of course. With that, a lot of, like you said, a lot of the students have applied already or they're thinking about it. So what are some things that you think students can do to make their applications stand out in a competitive pool of other students?
I will say a lot of our counselors really emphasize the personal essay. That's a great opportunity to say like why you want to come to Flagler, and then also kind of like why Flagler would be good for you. And that's something that they actually read. Like since we are a smaller institution, like you're going to have that like more accessibility with your counselor. They're going to get to know you a lot more, and they just really want to see like who you are and how you're going to shine here.
Yes.
Absolutely. Can I just add to that? So one of the like admissions buzzwords is a holistic approach to the application reading process. And so for Flagler, being a smaller school, we do take that holistic approach. Every single piece of paper that you submit as part of your application is read by one of our counselors. And so that's why it is so important for the essay for you to truly let us know who you are, because that's where we get to know you. We don't have interviews that are a mandatory part of the process. And so our opportunity is to know who you are through your personal essay. And we really emphasize to obviously make sure it is a good piece of writing and that you've proofread it and all of that. But at the same time, you're really diving into who you are, why you want to come to Flagler, and ultimately how Flagler kind of fits into whatever your life goals might be at the time. Obviously, goals can change, but and a lot of times they do once you come to Flagler. But at the same time, in that moment, how are we fitting into your goals?
Yes, and how I think it's important for them to see how we can fit into their future, and then also just how we can leverage themselves just to accomplish their ultimate goals as a student, but then also as a professional later on. So can you please share a success story that you saw with a student's admissions journey and how it transformed their experience here at Flagler?
So I will say one story in particular comes to mind, and ultimately we had a family visiting, and we looked at the families that were registered for the day, and 2 people had the same last name. And after diving a little bit deeper, we realized that they're, sisters. And we're looking at it, I'm like, why is one sister deposited and committed to Flagler and one sister isn't? What's going on with this? And so I, in my head, made it my goal to get the other sister to deposit that day. But ultimately, didn't share that with anyone. But, I'd make it my little personal challenge. And so ultimately, the visit happens, everything goes well. A couple days later, we see the deposit come in, and I'm secretly like, yay.
Yes.
And then later on, that the one that hadn't deposited ended up becoming an ambassador. And so I questioned her, and I was like, why hadn't this happened? This is, years later, we're talking about it. And she goes, well, I came to visit, and the visit is truly what made my decision. Mm-hmm. And now, she's a student here, and she's involved in all these things. And I really think, us having those personal touches have really transformed her time, I would at least hope, or transferred her life, I should guess.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
And, made her Flagler experience really great.
Yes. Like you said, she's so involved in the community. I know I touched a little bit upon it and how everything that I'm involved in I love, and especially all my friends as well, hearing their stories. But what is something about Flagler's community that students and families might not know about, but they will love once they're here?
Yeah, so I would say that the accessibility doesn't stop at admissions. All of our campus, again, we're a small campus, so that means that you're going to have a lot of access to a lot of our resources. And because we do have a lot of resources, like our Creative Development Center, I see Vernita all the time, and I was a student here, and I worked with her a lot, and now I see her, and we're still friends. We say good morning and everything, but I think that just kind of shows how we do have that access now.
Yes. And I believe we're wrapping up a little bit. So,
so.
Philly, if you could give one piece of advice to your high school self when applying for college, what would it be?
I would definitely say if Flagler is anywhere on your radar for applying, don't wait to apply. Many people have heard me tell this story, and I'm going to tell it again because I think this is the gold standard for don't wait. I was a high school student. I knew Flagler was the only place I wanted to attend. It was the only school I was actually submitting an application to. But in my brain, I said, oh, there's a deadline. I'll just, submit before the deadline. No big deal. I submitted my application the day before the deadline, and it turned out that I was waitlisted. And so when I got that letter, I called my admissions counselor, who was Rachel Branch at the time, and now she's the dean of admissions and my boss. And so I joke with her all the time, and I was like, I can't believe you waitlisted me. And she's like, you waited to the last second to apply. And I was like, yeah, I did. And so obviously seeing the admissions process from kind of the side I see it from now, I definitely get what happened. But, as an 18-year-old, I was devastated. So my biggest piece of advice is if we are on your radar, your top choice, your second choice, your third choice, just go ahead and submit the application. It doesn't take that long. Just get it over with so that you don't have to wait on your decision.
Yes. And then final question to you. If you had to describe the admissions process in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of summarize everything that we've talked about. The process is very holistic, the review of everything, very customizable, both as an incoming student and a current student, and then also maybe just fun, You can it doesn't have to be fun. Scary,
right? And I will put in the tagline that Rachel Branch says all the time. We are the Office of Admissions, not the Office of Denial.
Yes.
And so ultimately, our ultimate goal is to get you here. If you want to attend Flagler, talk to us, communicate with us. We'll make a plan and we'll work on it. So, it might be right out of high school, it might not be, but if this is where you want to be, we will get you here. So we are definitely in the business of admitting people and getting people to campus if that's where they want to be.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on this podcast and letting me interview. This was so fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Loved
you.
it. Thank you, Breaking Eggs.